I posted a video yesterday showing tarot readings, me asking spirit questions, more about the future, what's expected of me, and all these sort of things. And the reason I do that isn't to gloat in any way. It's not to posture above anyone. It's to show the connection to spirit, to source, the connection, and how beautiful the signs are, and like how in alignment we are, and more of a deeper meaning to life and our experience. And it's up to us how much we delve into that or don't delve into that. But what I would say is those that have more of a negative perception of life, they don't seem to do much with their lives. Just leave it there. I'm going to show something connected to this video just shortly in a minute. But another part of my content I've been talking about is, distractions in our lives, addictions. It's focus on your highest good, focus on achievement. You can still have entertainment and still have distractions that make us happy, but you can't let it consume you. Now, I spoke about gaming addictions and how it's unhealthy, and if unhealed can ruin your life. And I say how I'm healed. But I still have an attraction to it, and I can lose hours. Like, for instance, recently I've been staying up to like 4 in the morning. I don't play games all day. It's because I haven't managed to fit in. Well, not even manage. I've got other things to do that are priority. So what happens inevitably is like 10 p.m. at night when I should be looking to go to sleep, I'm like, I'm going to sit down now and I'm going to start chilling. And it's also like my day begins again. And I'll sit there being just entertaining myself. Maybe I'll watch some YouTube videos. Maybe I'll play the odd game here. Maybe I'll start recording a game. But I tend to do most of that at night when I should be stopping. So effectively, I'm trying to make space for something that really I don't have space for. But it's a losing battle. But the one part I want to make a point within that, where the message is a bit more clearer, is the fact that I did say in my other video as well, though, if you're in a relationship, then it's really important to find balance and not dismiss people for the hobbies and habits and addictions. But I'm single, so it doesn't affect anyone other than myself. So there's no like knock-on effect. Like I said, it affects me, but it's not hurting anybody else. So there's an innocence to it. But I'm aware of it, and with that in mind, like if anyone saw the full video, because I cut a lot out when I post it to TikTok, I cut a lot out because no one has an attention span. It's just the way it is. There's a lot more content if people sat and watch the YouTube videos. There's a lot that gets missed, and for instance, with the tarot reading, it's like spirit really wants me to focus and achieve my goals rather than keep taking detours. Even though I achieve a lot, I made a point in that video that I could achieve even more. So I'm going to do less gaming. Hopefully, I can still fit in the odd game though and have some fun and still watch my movies and things. But I'm going to get back to working on my hobbies, my craft, my projects, because I've still got manuscripts to edit and also add to them, and it's going to be work. But I felt I deserved a break. But the signs I'm receiving is not time to break; it's time to double down. So okay. We work. Anyway, before we get onto this other video, that's quite important, very important in terms of synchronicities, which I'll reveal in a minute. I also said I'm going to stop buying films, movies, DVD, Blu-rays for the rest of the year because there's other priorities. But when it comes to collecting, it never truly stops. It just slows down. That's the reality. If I see a deal, I'm going to grab it. And there's a film I absolutely love. Yeah, maybe because Emilia Clarke's in it. I don't know. I think she's really pretty. It's her personality as well. She's really bubbly and very kind. She's a very nice person. I'm drawn to that. But the film itself, I think, is incredible. So yeah, in this box we will have. I don't assume it should be Last Christmas. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. Last Christmas, baby, on Blu-ray. It's a bit darker because I've got this filter to take away the background, so you can't really see it so clearly. But yeah, I bloody love this film. It's so good. That's actually a really, really great movie. So I had to grab it. It wasn't particularly expensive, so it adds to my Christmas collection, but also watch year round. Right, I don't want to lose track too much. So this video from Taylor come up, and I just straight away noticed the time. So if we go to my video, I took a screenshot. This is what happened. So literally, I was going to do this video anyway, talk about focusing on my projects now, because it's really important. If you're going to be exhausted, you may as well be exhausted doing something productive. That's the way I see it. Gaming isn't building towards my future, but my book projects, for instance, are, as is my video projects. But it's still important we have fun. But in moderation. Yes. Anyway, so I looked at this. Bear in mind, I just done my tarot reading the day before, last night, and then I got like 1, 2, 3, 4 in a time. I'm like, okay, that's crazy. And then I noticed that I didn't notice his numbers at all. I just noticed the ones on my side. So I'm like, I got 70. You got 37 faves, but then you've got 3 below and 7 above. So there's so many sort of connotations with that. You could take the 3 from the faves and move it up to the 7 above it. So you've got 73 down or 37 up. And you've also got 73 down, 37 up on the other side. So you see the angles of all this. Then I look across his content. I'm like, oh my God, because I'm already like mesmerized by these number patterns. Plus the 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top. Then I'm like, wait a minute, he's even put in it 37 and 73. Now, the whole reason when the content creators do that, they're saying these numbers have a meaning. So these are synchronicities to look out for. It doesn't mean if you don't have them, the video is irrelevant, but it adds more potency to the video to say, look, if you're getting those, if you see those numbers, this is definitely for you. And I'm seeing those numbers straight in my face. Plus, add that extra weight to 1, 2, 3, 4. Freaking hell, then. That's crazy. So, anyway, that was just a little synchronicity there. I thought I'd show people. Bear in mind of the content I produced yesterday. Again, I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. I'm just opening people's eyes to the connection, showing them. Effectively, I'm just showing the connection I have and the signs I get from Spirit Source. Then later on, people will see the results, of course. Yeah, if people want to be skeptical, by all means, we live our lives how we choose to live our lives. I choose not to live my life in ignorance. So I've seen about 2.5 minutes. I've seen about 20 seconds of this, and I've just thought, I'll stop and I'll just watch it as is. Let's see what it says.
It is absolutely necessary and required for your level up, for your ascension, to stick up for yourself. I feel like there's something, and this is kind of an extension of my last message, where it's paramount that you stand your ground, that you call something out, and that you stick up for yourself regarding some kind of situation. And I feel like this is something that has like a heavy kind of connection to being in the energy, maybe growing up, or being forced to be submissive in a way where there's people pleasing, or there's codependency, or there's something where it's like you're not supposed to rock the boat, or whatever. Or, you know what? And that's fucking bullshit. You need to stick up for yourself. It's not only like going to lead to success and like some kind of accomplishment in the physical and your 3D and your environment, but it's also like some massive like soul lesson. It's like there's some kind of soul growth that's coming from you speaking your piece, sticking up for yourself, and standing your ground. It's absolutely crucial. It's necessary. So we have this is the Emperor here, okay? And see, the Emperor here is with his Empress though. So this is someone who is very has a strong balance of their masculine and feminine, and they're willing to get other people's perspectives, but at the end of the day, it's just like sometimes the tough choices, the tough decisions have to be made. And it says, well, it's Anax and Simede. It says, Akro's greatest heroes are also its royalty. So you can have some kind of like, I feel like there's some kind of Greek or Roman like god, goddess energy that's around you right now. Like I'm hearing Athena and Artemis and Aphrodite that are kind of like around to like help guide and protect and encourage you in what you're doing, because you're making some tough choices. But you're not just making some tough choices on some kind of whim. You're doing it in a way where you're listening to your guides, you're listening to the people in your environment that you trust, who have solid and reliable and genuine information to offer. And like you're making some heavy choice when it comes to like, it's going to outcome more. The outcome is going to impact more than just yourself. It's going to impact your community, your collective, your family, your kids, your whatever it is, you know. I'm also hearing the student body. But like, it's paramount that the people in positions of power make the tough decisions that are there to better the collective and their people, whether everyone understands the decision or not. It's because it's for the greatest good of yourself and those around you. It has to be made, and it has to be made in a way that's stern and genuine, and where there's thought that's been put into it, but there's not backing down. It's like this almost reminds me of like the presidential power to veto something. You're like, no, I'm going to veto that because that is not what's best for our people. It is.
Right, so of course we could take that many ways. It's probably not his most graceful image there. Let's get that down. Let's get rid of all these icons. Now it looks cool. No. Yeah, I see what he's saying in the video. It's about being assertive, standing your ground, standing up for yourself. If anyone seen my previous video when I was referring to myself, I was getting the Emperor come out, and I spoke about that Emperor card. The Emperor is focused. They are successful. They are a leader. And that's what was coming out from me, and that's literally how I present myself anyway. It's with the content I create. I just create. I don't care about other people attacking that or not believing in it, because it's other people's perceptions of my path is of no consequence, is it? Because it comes from an opinion rather than an experience, whereas my content, everything I do, comes from an experience rather than just an opinion. So it's yeah, someone not believing in something is only because they haven't experienced it, whereas my belief comes from the fact that I'm experiencing it. So I'm not going to listen to someone who hasn't experienced something when I have. Doesn't make sense. When he said about strong boundaries and dealing with people, I've done that with my family. There's only a handful of a segment of my family now who I trust, I value, and I will allow in my life. The rest of them I've cut ties with, and I don't care. It makes it slightly complicated when you're trying to navigate arrangements and things, but it is what it is. I'm not interested. People have had long enough to have an impact in my life, have a positive influence, and be respectful. And if you're not on the same wavelength, then we must part ways. And that's just how I am. I've set strong boundaries. I'm firm, and that sign is just pointing towards becoming who you're supposed to, who you were built to be. And like I said, I've had a lot of distractions in my life lately. Still collecting my films because I love my movie collection. It makes me happy. And there's a lack of reliance on the streaming. I don't want to go too far deviating that way, but that's taking back power to ourselves as well, to the point where I can make decisions for myself and I'm not being sort of guided down a corrupted path. Because these streaming services, I know it seems so innocent, and it's just that they're providing us with plenty of content. The prices are going to constantly increase, and we're going to become more subservient to it. So we're going to find ourselves attached to it with no way out, and they're going to control us. So it's taking back our power to say, look, I can watch this whenever I want, and I don't have to ever pay anything ever again if I don't want to build my collection any further. And there's plenty for me to enjoy there. You don't have control. And that's what that is, because they start removing movies you want to watch. Now all of a sudden you've got to buy them and pay for the services. It just gets crazy. That's just one side of life, of course. But yeah, I'm focused. And like where he said about the Roman and Greek gods and goddesses around you, I know one of my spirit guides is from ancient Egypt, and I did actually ask through my tarot cards, were they an Egyptian god? And I got the Justice card. I didn't want to sort of posture too high there, but innately I just thought, yeah, you are. So one of my guides is a god. I feel an Egyptian god. That's incredibly powerful. Getting goosebumps now. One's a philosopher from a historical philosopher. I don't know who. I didn't ask really push that. I'm more just allow them to be who they are in the shadows and guide me. So that's the influence I have over me in terms of the divine guidance I'm receiving. The angelic realm. I got Archangel Michael expects a lot of me. I had a session last year. I've spoke about that so many times. I'm not going to keep doing it. When he rebuked me for not doing my protection. And again, things for people to learn. But for him to do that meant he had a big calling on my life. He expected a lot of me. So in the astral realm and my spirit, I have high status. I'm a high vibrational soul. And that's just the way it is. So I have high vibrational beings really supporting and guiding me because I have a huge purpose and I'm intent to fulfill it. And the thing is, I think one of the big takeaways from that, it isn't about posturing above anyone or anything. It's just, I think if you've got a high calling on your life, and it's a genuine high calling, you don't get flustered. It doesn't consume you. Your ego doesn't run away. Because I'm just talking from experience. I don't feel weaker than anybody else. I don't feel like an inferiority complex or anything like that. I don't feel nervous. I don't feel anything. I just feel I'm me all the time. So I'm just being myself. And yeah, I don't feel weaker than anyone. So I think that's interesting. And it doesn't control me. So I don't get ahead of myself and go, oh, look at this megastar walking around. I don't think like that. So even if I get status, it's no different to who I am today. And I think someone who's not meant to do those things, I think that's when the fame gets to their head because it's way above their pay grade. Their soul cannot handle that. They were not ready. And I think that's what it comes down to. I've got immensely powerful, wise guides, and they consider me in this lifetime, as in this experience, an emperor. And I think that says a lot that says a lot to me. And sometimes they see me as the empress, and I think that's beautiful. So I embody both, and that's what Taylor said. He said you embody both the masculine and feminine, and you're doing it beautifully. And I think that's what it is. I'm embodying the empress and the emperor, and that is incredibly powerful because it wasn't always the case. I think it was just last year when we went for a channeling session with someone. Was asking where I am and what leadership qualities do I currently possess. And I would think I was the Queen of Cups or Queen of Swords. I think it's Queen of Cups. But effectively, as a queen, you're not quite a king here. And you're only one queen, but you're not all of them. So there's a lot of growth to be had. And within a year, I've transcended from being a Queen of Cups, potentially, to Emperor and Empress. It's like, wow, that's a lot of growth. That's a lot of growth. And these are the signs, People can be jealous, envious in their life, and they can pass judgment or whatever they want. But it's just posturing. Humble yourself and just allow yourself to allow spirit into your life, and they will guide you. And you don't always get the signs you want, of course. You don't always get. I could pull my cards out and I might go, "Oh, I'm having a great day. I'm doing awesome." And I could ask them how they think I'm getting on with my journey, and they might give me a card that really doesn't point towards you being at the top of your mountain. All of a sudden, there's work to do. And it might mean that I'm feeling good in myself at the moment. I feel I've achieved a lot. I've not seen this success, but maybe I'm distracting myself now with movies and video games and all sorts of things. And I feel comfortable in that. And it's like, how am I doing? Well, you're not doing much. Oh, damn it. I thought I was doing all right. But no, there's more expected. And I think if you have a high calling on your life, unfortunately, there's always going to be things to do. So hence why, instead of me playing games now, because I was going to lose myself in it, in all honesty, I'm going to be working on books. I'll still play games, but yeah, I recognize I could lose my head. In all honesty, I have the potential because I've got like a bit of an addictive personality as well. To put it into perspective, I can either write my books or play games. But once you play games and you go down that rabbit hole, you actually start to hemorrhage money because there's things you want, and we'll have like an idea of what we could have. But if I write my books, it doesn't cost me anything, and I'm achieving something, a huge milestone every time, and it's building towards a legacy. And I think that's just more meaningful, isn't it? I also had an angel reading last year with this medium I spoke about. It features in my book, Losing Mind to Find Your Soul, at the end. And they said about like, what is it you want for your life? Or something like that. I can't remember the exact question. Again, it's in the book. And I said, I just want to streamline everything. I just want to achieve everything by the time I'm like 50 or something. I said, and then I just want to like live happy ever after. I just want to relax. And the angels come through and said that's not happening. That's not your life. You're not here for that. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. And that's the point. Like, there's no point feeling sorry for yourself or posturing above. It's so irrelevant. What you're here to do, you ultimately, you should end up doing. You can fall off, so you can get sidetracked and not achieve what you come here to do. So I know in my heart that I'm here to always be of service. And that's literally my role. So that's deeper than me. It's bigger than me. Effectively, it's bigger than the life I want. It's literally it's ordained on my life to achieve certain things and have an impact on the world. And that comes at a heavy price, of course. But at the same time, I think sometimes the things we think we're losing aren't that great anyway. Like if I think about gaming, I love gaming, but for the most part, I think a lot of people in the gaming at the moment are recognizing that this generation of gaming hasn't been that great. There's been a few good games, like great games, but not enough. And I think a lot of us are starting to look backwards. We're starting to look at the games we loved in the past. And that's what I was talking about, the rabbit hole. Last night, I was looking at CRT TVs, and I was getting nostalgic because I love the 90s. It's my favorite era that I've lived. Of course, born in the 80s. I loved the music in the 80s, but 90s for me was everything because that's when technology was just ramping up. We had the birth of new technology and the ending of another, and it was just an incredible period of time. And the pop culture was great. And I just felt, I could get a CRT TV, the old TVs with the, I think it's the cathode thing, the glass screen, and then get myself some of the older consoles and plug it into that rather than the new age TVs, and just start really enjoying the past, relive those moments. But I realized the rabbit hole that would create, the cost would get out of control because all of a sudden you've got to buy the TV, then you've got to buy the consoles, then you've got to start sourcing all the old games. Then you've got a bit of a mess in your house. Where'd you put it? Not all of us have a mansion. And it was like, oh, that's a rabbit hole I'm not sure I'm prepared for. I don't even think that's necessary. Do you really need to? Well, no, but it'd be nice. Or you could just get on with your book, mate, and just do what you're actually supposed to do because you've effectively, it's just trying to keep reliving the past, isn't it? It's like, that was a period in time I liked and I want to stay there. That's what it is. It's finding comfort in that. And sometimes we've got to push ourselves outside our comfort zone and create the new. And that's kind of where my path is taking me. And it's like big statements I make. And I'm not here to make grand statements and try to shock people. It's just how I feel and it's what I'm doing. I feel the world is toxic. I talk about it all the time. I think it's an absolute mess. I don't think there's much to inspire people. I think people are lost. I think people are trying to find satisfaction in perhaps the wrong places or like the past in the same way I'm trying to seek it too because I'm so fed up. But I feel I have a part to play in instigating a profound change on this world to help people find the star within themselves. And it's a huge responsibility, of course. I take it serious. So I have a light side, I have a confrontational side, but I also have a very, very healing side. And as shown by my books, I can get fed up with humanity, but it doesn't make me give up on it. So I will provide, I create to help and guide, inspire. And hopefully one day the right person will see what I'm doing and it will help change their life. And I have no doubt, to be honest, that I've had an impact on many people already. I just don't get the recognition for it. But I'm not here to receive recognition. That's the thing. I didn't come here for that. It doesn't. And the reason I know that is because it doesn't do anything for me anyway. It's like, it's nice to hear it, but it doesn't alter me at all. If there's a negative opinion, I still create. If there's a positive opinion, I still create. I'm creating because it's my gift to the world. It's like what I'm here to come to do. And I just fulfill whatever it is my calling is. And really, that's for other people to do too, like whatever their calling is. And it's not trying to be a copy of someone. I talk about it a lot. We're here to evolve our souls, and for some of us, have a positive contribution on humanity. So some would be students, others would be teachers. But the student can become the teacher. But then some people are not here to have that mass impact. But that's fine too, because you're literally evolving, and that's a good thing. And then in another lifetime, eventually, you'll be ready to lead too. I'm not going to keep going on, but just to add to the very end of this, I've had so many signs, and I feel it in myself. And it makes sense because I have powerful entities around me supporting. I also have powerful entities around me trying to stop me. So there's that too. Right? It's like a massive battle, and I'm aware of it, and I felt it. There was something I was going to say there. Oh yeah. So I've had a lot of signs. This could be my last human experience, last lifetime on Earth. So our souls come back to learn lessons. You'll have a lifetime in different eras. Different experiences, and from all accounts I've already had so many, which is why I see life in so many ways. My soul was experienced, it's evolved. So I think it was Archangel Michael was communicating with this medium again at the back of my book. It was either that or the angels, and we was asking me and this medium, because we both got a similar path but in different ways. They're more delicate than me, so they can, when they provide their guidance to people and talk to them, it's far more calm, whereas I'm far more direct. And I'll just tell you how it is, and I'll ruffle feathers, but that's who I'm here to be. I'm like a warrior of light. I'm like a soldier. That's literally what I am for the light. I'm just here to bash a lot of walls down and say it how it is, and that's what I do. But we did ask, like, is this my last lifetime? And they said, well, that's up to you. It could be, unless you choose to come back. So effectively, I don't need to. I've done everything I come here to do, and that's kind of what this whole lifetime's about. For me, it's not have that. It doesn't mean I won't be happy, and I won't be in love, I won't be married. It doesn't mean I won't have those experiences, but it just means my life has just more of an impact than that, and it's recognizing that that's what you're here to do. So just make sure you do it, and that's my life. So although I have other ideas, it's just that they're a lot of it is distractions. And it's for me to learn to find that balance and not come to the end of life and regret anything. And I talk about that a lot. If you get to the end of life and you've got regrets, it's like, well, if only you had your eyes open earlier, you wouldn't have had the regret because you'd have made the right decision at the given moment. And that's the accountability I need for myself too. A lot of the games I'm playing at the moment are games from the past. I don't mind doing it, and I'll still do it, but I've got to find a balance now and start really just getting on with this book because that's really where I'm going to have the impact on this earth. And we never know how long we're here. I think that's something else to take into consideration. You can say, I'm only going to take a few months. I'm only going to take a year. Well, that might be your last year. That might be the last few months. Or you might not have long after. We just don't know anything. So you're better off making the impact now while you can. And I think a lot of this corresponds with the video that Taylor did. So, yeah, it's great.